Now, there's a fault I constantly see golfers do, and I can guarantee pretty much all of you watching this video do this fault. And that is, as you're getting up to the top of the backswing, is your pelvis slightly moving forward. This is one of the biggest causes for golfers early extending and just generally having terrible body movement in the downswing, especially when it comes to their rotation through the shot. So losing your hip depth is what I see. So where we're completing our backswing and that right hip is just slightly moving forward. So from here, if you could see with this red line I've just drawn, you can see how my pelvis is just moving slightly ahead of it. Now, when we get to that spot here, guys, we're in a point of no return. We can't get the pelvis going back again. It's an extremely unnatural thing with the speed of a golf swing to have it move forward and then back. It's generally not going to happen. So for a lot of you guys who get in a lot of practice and you just can't stop early extending, no matter what you do, you can't fix it. This is it. So again, if we move it forward, there's only one other place it's going to go, and that is more forward in the downswing. Your body is going to continue to go that way because the weight is shifting onto your toes. It's going to continue to shift on that toes when we're going into the downswing. Remember, golf swing is a swing. We like to view it as different positions, even in the most basic terms of backswing and downswing, regardless of the P system. So, because it is one movement, whatever we're trying to do in our front and back movement, as we complete that backswing, we're going to continue to do that in the downswing. So if we have those hips moving forward, completing that backswing, they're going to continue to move forward. There's our early extension, and there's our stall out of our rotation, an armsy move through the golf ball. So what I want to see you guys do is have a deeper hip turn. So I want to see, as you move back, I want to see this right hip start to move back in this direction. So if we watch this shot here, see how my right hip started to move more back. It was almost like someone was grabbing my trouser pocket and pulling it back as I get up to the top of my swing. So from there, you can see in relationship to the line, you can see how my pelvis was either staying on it or even slightly breaking it. Slightly breaking and going past that line isn't too bad of a thing, because that now makes it way easier for me to get the left side and start having the left side move back as I'm moving on into that downswing there. Makes that movement so much easier to do. So again, we don't want to be here, point of no return, and not being able to turn back there. So we want to get that left side, or that right side, sorry, really pulling that back like someone's grabbing that right trouser pocket. It's going to help massively for hip rotation too. That just makes it so much easier to get the hips to do what you want in a downswing. No, it just doesn't make it easier, it's a necessity. Everyone watching this video needs to do this. It's rare for the golf swing for something in there that everyone has to do, and this is one of them. So let's show you a drill to do it. So guys, here's the drill. So all we need is like a chair. So it could be a camping chair like this. It could be a golf bag. Could be anything that you can just put behind and rest it up against your hamstring area. So from here, we've got something now that we can physically feel when we turn in our backswing. So we can feel on our downswing as well. So a lot of you might be familiar with this if you suffer with early extension, to try and push it back in the downswing. And you're probably thinking, this hasn't worked for me. I don't like this drill. It's because you're doing it wrong. We need to do it in the backswing. Push it back in the backswing. Because how are you going to push it back if you're moving forward in that backswing there? You're not going to push it back there, and you're not going to push it back in the downswing. So we want to be pushing it back in the backswing, push it back as much as you can, and continue pushing it back with the left hip as you're starting your downswing. So really, really push it. So you see there, really gave it a good push. Loads of you, when you do this drill, you're just trying to keep in contact with it. That's not going to do a thing. You've got to force a swing change to happen. You can't just be trying to do the ideal, perfect thing. Your body's already trying to do that. You've got to really over-exaggerate it. Push it back as much as you can with that right hip in the backswing. Push it back with that left hip as much as you can in the downswing. So if you like this video, of course, click that like button. If you've got more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.